3AW is football.
Congratulations, Gillon.
Thank you, mate. Well, thank you, and thank you everyone for coming. I'm obviously incredibly proud to be sitting here accepting the job as the Chief Executive of the Australian Football League. I understand the honour, I understand the responsibility, I understand the privilege of leading this code and this game. I want to thank Mike and thank the Commission for their faith in me. I would also at this point I guess like to thank my peers and my colleagues within the AFL and across the industry for their support. I just want to thank my wife and family, and I want to single out Donna Rouse, who works with me on a daily basis for a tough few months. I guess people in our industry know, and within the game, know my background. I've worked here for 10 plus years. I've worked across a number of functions, and I've got a strong knowledge, I think, of the clubs and the pressures they're under. But I also feel I was a strong candidate because I understand the passion of football. I've been part of the community of football, and I know how important it is. Played over 240 games of amateur or country football. I've captained the club. I've been on the committee of the club. I'm a life member of the club. I've had my share of cold showers and freezing committee meetings. I've been part of the process of appointing coaches, been part of the process of sacking coaches. And I know how our game is an intrinsic part of so many people's lives. How important it is to people, to communities, to towns, to cities. And I also feel as a strong candidate because I have a clear vision of where I feel the game needs to go and how we're going to get there. For me, that vision is about having an unassailable hold on the Australian community. In women, in children, as much as men, from the north to the south, in all communities. And success in delivering on this vision will mean ultimately three things. That we are truly national, we are truly representative, and we're truly connected to the community. If we do that, I believe we'll fill every stadium and success will follow. What we have to do is achievable. The execution will take industry collaboration and hard work. Strong clubs playing a spectacular contest played by the best athletes in a fair, transparent and highly competitive competition, well officiated. We already have most of that. We just don't have it all of the time. And we need to invest in and nourish our fans and the community. I'm accountable to Mike and the Commission, but ultimately I serve four masters: the fans, the community, the clubs and the players. They often have competing interests, but it's my commitment that I will never prioritise one at the expense of the other. I want to also at this juncture congratulate Andrew for his extraordinary success and thank him for his support, leadership, mentoring and ultimately his friendship with me. It's been a huge part of my working career and I want to thank him for that. We have some immediate challenges and I'm acutely aware of those, and I'll travel far and wide in this early period, listening, connecting and learning. But I want to say this: we have an amazing game, played by the most extraordinary athletes, with the most tribal of clubs and the most passionate of fans. And despite those challenges, we are in an amazingly strong position, and I'm incredibly excited about our future. Again, I want to thank Mike and the Commission for their support of me. I'm really looking forward to the role. Thank you.
Congratulations. You talk about immediate challenges. What are some of those challenges?
I think there is the most pressing couple I can think of. Tony are the continued support and structural improvement in our weaker clubs, having strong competition. I think also, I guess, engaging with our fans and understanding the challenges and really, in my words, taking away any encumbrance, whether they be financial or scheduling or logistical, from them being able to pursue their passion and go to the football.
Michael Gillon sit on the commission.
Yes, he will.
So there'll be no change to the role.
No.
And Gillon, you say you know the road that you have to travel and how to get there. Are you going to change direction in any sense from where the game's been going over the past decade?
Well, it depends on direction. I think Andrew's legacy is an extraordinary level of growth in the industry and investment in stadium, in national expansion, in digital media, in development, his leadership on social issues. My job ultimately is to now, I think, consolidate that investment and focus on I guess it's a corporate leveraging that investment. Now that means a lot of things, but ultimately I will be a different leader to Andrew. There's only one Andrew. It'll mean that I take a different approach with that. It'll mean that we'll have a different approach to the way we do business in here. The shape and the structure of the team will change. So it'll be a different approach, Caroline. But I think it's essentially consolidating and extending the work that's happened under Andrew's tenure.
Do you particularly have some work to do in re-engaging with the fans at the moment, given events of this season?
I don't know how big that challenge is. I completely accept that we need to listen to the fans. We need to work incredibly hard on dealing with the issues they have and the challenges they have with going to our game. Absolutely. Now, how big that gap is to close and how much we've got to do, we may well debate that, but I can guarantee you we'll be listening and addressing those issues. I don't propose, Mark, to go back and look at that. Looking with respect to me specifically in this role, I'm sure there was some skin taken off me. There was skin taken off a lot of people. It was an incredibly tough period in the history of our game, and we ended up in a position that I don't think was edifying for a lot of people, and it certainly wasn't great for the game. But we must look forward there now. It probably did take some bark off me, but as I sit here now, and having reached agreement with Mike yesterday, thankfully not too much.
As an extension of that, is it a good learning experience for you?
Yeah, I certainly think there's a lot of learnings to come out of it, and for the industry and personally. I think in every tough situation there are learnings from it, and that's life. It's evolution and it's learning, and whether it's the last broadcast deal or whether it's the Essendon thing or whether it's building the stadiums in Queensland or expansion, there is always learnings in everything we do. Chip, I'm happy to talk to you about all aspects of that at some later point. I don't contemplate going backwards into detail about the Essendon case. There's been so much said, so much written. Today I want to look forward. There will be other stuff potentially coming up around Essendon. We're waiting on ASADA. There'll be plenty of time to talk about that. I don't propose to talk about it today.
You'd appreciate this isn't just something that interests me, and we could have a personal chat, but I think there are a lot of people who are curious as to what happened on that night. Now, my understanding is that you the team and you talked to the Essendon director about this on that night, and they made it clear at this stage to you that they were going to be paying a game turn. Now, what's your recollection of what was said there, and then particularly importantly, what you then passed on to the Commission?
Yeah, no, again, Chip, I'm going to give you the same answer. I have specific recollections. There's a lot being said. It's been, I guess, an unedifying period for the game. And today, if you want to talk about it, I can. We can talk on or off the record. Today, I want to look forward for the future of the game and not look back.
What's that mean? Is that sort of mean
Special for expansion.
if you wanted to take the game truly national, what needs to be done to do that? Does that mean possibly more expansion?
No, it means I believe we have the right amount of teams for the foreseeable future, whether that's 5 or 10 years. It means consolidating the expansion teams. It means delivering on the need for and have a clear future of what's happening in Tasmania. It means finishing and building a stadium in Burswood to support for this, to deliver on a first-class game for all Western Australians. It means ensuring that all people in the ACT buy into the Giant story. It's about delivering on the footprint in the blue that's been established now. It's about execution.
What would you like to see in Tasmania?
I think I've been on the record about that in the last couple of weeks. To be clear, if Hawthorn want to continue playing in Launceston, that is their decision. If the Kangaroos want to continue playing in Hobart, that is their decision. If they don't want to play in those two towns, that is their decision. My vision for Tasmania is that we have a one-state approach. That means the North and the South working together to come in behind one team. Now, whether that's possible, it's a very challenging proposition, but that is what Tasmanians ultimately is, to be coming behind one team, and that's an aspiration. Now, the challenges are there for everyone to see.
3AW is football.